Hi guys, my name is Caitlin Brown, and for today's persuasive speech topic, I'm going to be talking about why it is important to adopt and not shop. For today's visual aids, I decided to wear this t-shirt because it is a perfect representation of my life. Books, coffee, dogs, that's all I need. And then this bracelet my mom got me as a gift. Each bracelet bought goes to an animal shelter to animals in need. For today's topics, we're going to talk about three things. The first one being the expense it is to buy a puppy and how the more puppies bought, the fuller our shelters get. The second thing we're going to talk about is how to adopt. A lot of people don't know, and this is going to come from an outside source, a friend of mine I work with. And then my third thing is going to be about saving animals, how it's good for the soul, and how it stops puppy mills. So let's just get started. Puppies are expensive to begin with. Everybody knows that. But nobody talks about the cost of a puppy when they buy it from a credible source. I follow a lady on Instagram named Linda who works for a company called Bull Razzie on Instagram, and she breeds bulldogs for a living, and she ships them out to the US, and that's how she does it. She is a credible breeder though. I will say I've gone in and looked at all her information because I have been curious about some of the dogs that she's had. She has a website, she has vet appointments, how she's certified to be a breeder, all of it. So she is credible. Puppies look super healthy in every video, so it's nothing to worry about. So I contacted her asking her, how much is it to typically adopt a puppy from you? The minimum amount is $1,200. That does not include vaccinations, spay and neutering, and microchipping a puppy. That also doesn't include the cost it takes to fly the puppy to you, along with how much you have to pay to have the nanny come. So keep that in mind. Another thing people don't understand is the more puppies brought in, the more animals taken to shelters. About every year, according to the Kansas Humane Society, 10 million dogs and cats enter shelters worldwide. And out of those 10 million animals, 8 million of them are euthanized because they're in the shelter for too long, they're too sick, they don't have a foster, and it's just really sad. It's a horrible thing. So that is definitely one thing you guys should always think about. The second thing we're going to talk about real quick is how to adopt. This is super easy and it's not that hard. So my friend Shanae, I worked with her at the Hutch Zoo, not the Wichita Zoo, and she fosters kittens through WAL, who is in Wichita. They are a fostering program through an animal shelter in Wichita. I don't know. I know that the program is called WAL, but I know what shelter they foster through. And so basically what happens is you will pick out your kitten from your foster, depending on who you foster from. You will go up to the animal shelter with her, the foster, and you, and you guys will meet the kitten, and you'll interact with them, and you'll kind of make that decision if you want to play. The next steps you have to take is you have to fill out paperwork. So are you intending to keep this animal for so long? Can you care for this animal? Do you have the supplies and necessities needed to take care of this animal? Are you financially, a lot of people, it's are you financially able to afford this animal kind of thing, but adopting is super easy and it's a lot of fun. So then once you get that all figured out and all settled away, you pay $100 fee flat rate. That's all you pay. This includes vaccinations, spay, neutering, and microchipping your animal, and you get them. That also includes the adoption fee. I did not say that. I apologize. That includes the adoption fee. So this, in my opinion, is a lot cheaper. You're paying $100 to adopt an animal along with all the things this animal needs, and you're paying $1,200 plus whatever you got to pay for a puppy. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, do you have money for that? Puppies are expensive, but they're very expensive to buy from. The third thing we're going to talk about is puppy mills. We're going to talk about puppy mills first because a lot of people don't know what a puppy mill is. So according to the Global Guide to Protect by Andrew Lindsay, puppy mills are people who take in dogs, consistently breed them in horrible conditions, typically horrible conditions. You don't see a lot of puppy mills that turn out great, but they breed them continuously and then they sell to people like you and me and make us believe that they are credible, that their puppies are healthy, that nothing is wrong with this animal. this is horrible, you guys. This is so sad. I've seen so many episodes of people busting these mills and going into these mills and the situation with all this, and so many packs are sent out for people to sign signatures to get these puppy mills shut down. But like, there's still a thing, because people will come into animal shelters and they will adopt dogs and they will put dogs in their puppy mill, and then they'll breed that dog and then they'll try to sell it. So just adopting is so much better, because sometimes the animal just goes to a better place. Another thing we can also talk about that I didn't have in my topic was dog fighting. Dog fighting is a big thing now, and a big thing we are fighting as a community. But people have been known to come to animal shelters and to take pit bulls and to use them for dog fighting. So the longer we leave them in the shelter, the more vulnerable they are to these instances. But overall, it just saves animals. It is amazing. It saves their soul. It makes them happy. Nothing is more peaceful to me than knowing that an old dog can come to our home and live out the rest of his life as comfortably as possible. I know that it's not fun to have a puppy, you guys. I get it. Douglas is kind of a bum as she gets older, but she's still our dog. That doesn't mean that we don't love her any less. But according to Dogs in Animal Shelters by David Tuber, that it is proven scientifically that adopted dogs have a bigger impact on people than puppies do. People just somehow form these bonds with these dogs that are broken and scared and, just really want a loving home. They develop different bonds. So overall, after today, I really want you guys to think about those 3 things. It is financially possible to get a puppy, but they are super expensive, especially if you go through a credible breeder. Super, super expensive, and that is something you got to keep in mind. Adopting is easy. Get with your local shelter, talk to your local shelter. There'll be somebody there to help you. And let's stop puppy mills altogether. Puppy mills are horrible. We don't like them. Adopted dogs are good for the soul, you guys.